So you will close my account if I don't agree to pay higher interest rates? Okay. So, this was back during the 2008 government mortgage crisis. Had great credit, a great job, and multiple credit cards I used to manage the different properties I owned, a personal card, gas cards, etc. So, one day I get a letter from a credit card company that rhymes with Pank saying that they unilaterally were raising my rates from 13.99% annually to 27% annually. If I wanted to keep my card, something many people during the crisis needed to do to survive, I had to agree to the new rate, otherwise they would close my account. I would not be able to make any more charges on the card, and I would have to continue making monthly payments at my current interest rate until the card was paid off. Of course, I had done nothing wrong credit-wise to deserve this treatment from my credit card company, almost doubling of my interest rate, so I called their service line. After being on hold for over 2 hours I finally got to speak to a CSR, and after not getting anywhere with her, I had to hold for another 30 minutes to talk to her supervisor. I was basically told, very rudely, that I could either accept the new rate or chose to close my account. Those were my only two options. Incensed, I said fine, close it, and they did. What they didn't know was that a week prior I had transferred all the balances from my other cards, over $22,000, to their card without paying a transfer fee and at a promotional rate of 1.9% for 1 year. But because of the law at the time, they could only charge me at a rate of 1.9% until the loan was paid. Here's the malicious compliance part. So here I am 13 years later paying the absolute minimum payment I am required to make each month, never missing a payment and never paying late, otherwise their default rate of 27% would kick in. Since the inflation rate during these years has been well over the 1.9% interest I pay, it's like free money. I paid off every other creditor I had with the money I saved and don't even use credit cards anymore, as I've been able to save enough to live on a cash-only basis. They've tried multiple times to get me reactivate the card or to transfer the balance to another super-duper account with lots of benefits for me, like paying a much higher interest rate, without success. The only thing I lament is that all good things must come to an end, as my balance is now down to $1,000 or less, but at least it will last another couple of years. P.S. Young folks, I lucked out. I would have been up a creek otherwise. If you don't have credit card debt now, avoid it like the plague. It's okay to get a card, you need it for many things in today's world. Just pay it off every month. Update, had a lot of similar questions, so I'm addressing them below. How is it free money? A lot of comments about me still paying interest to Pank. Correct, I do, but this is how it plays out. Instead of sending them a $1,000 payment, for example, to avoid $19 in interest in a year, what I do is invest those same $1,000 where I can get a much higher return. Say 9.9%. At the end of the year, I have $99 I've earned. I take 19 to pay the interest I owe Pank and keep $80 for myself. Now multiply that times 2K and 13 years. Yes, I oversimplified for illustration purposes. I still have to pay some of the principal off, pay taxes, etc. Yes, I have consistently had a return above 10% of my investments, so the model holds. Inflation is not well above 1.9%. If you are a Keynesian, probably not, but inflation is not a rise in prices, it is a shift in the demand/supply of money, which ultimately shows up in consumer goods. This is where folks first see inflation and make the association that a rise in prices is inflation, but it is not. In addition, most media report on the CPI as if it were a measure of inflation, so folks accept those claims at face value and further believe a rise in prices is inflation. The CPI calculation is secret, manipulated, and has changed over 20 times in the past. Why? Most entitlements are CPI based, so a rise in CPI means higher costs for governments, so they try to keep this measure low. Ask anyone that depends on entitlements if their annual CPI adjustment keeps up with their expenses. I don't care if Pank knows I exist or not, or cares or not. I care and am having fun with this. I don't know what law made them keep the 1.9%. Maybe some enlightened Redditor has the answer. I found out about them freezing the rate in the confirmation letter they sent me. They mentioned a law somewhere but don't remember what it was. Consumer protection maybe? RIP inbox.
Now to the comments. Love this. It's nice to see the credit company get hit by their own contract.
I think it had something to do with the laws where OP was living.
Maybe, but honestly, a contract is a contract, and it's not easy to unilaterally change the terms of a contract. My mom had an amazing fixed rate card with them back in the day and they told her to switch to a new card with a variable or close the account. She's never had an account with them since.
Same here, closed a credit card, because of the bank changing the TC on it. I was in credit as well, and still get a statement showing interest of 6C that accumulated after it was closed. They asked why, and I referred them to their own fee card, which is just short of usury in all costs.
Pre-GFC, earning below the median wage, banks send me letters saying get a credit card with a $40,000 limit. Why would I would something I would never be able to pay off? Post-GFC, going for extended travel overseas, I think I better get a credit card for emergencies. Oh no, we couldn't possibly give you any more than $4,000 limit, that's just irresponsible to do more. 4K was fine, it was just for emergencies.
I remember pre-GFC the local in-store bank had sandwich board signs up offering their need money for the state fair. Loans. Yes, please. I'd love to finance my elephant ears, funnel cakes, and carnival rides at an exorbitant rate. That sounds awesome. Haven't seen those loans on offer since then.
To be fair, don't a lot of small, rural businesses have booths and sell stuff at the state fair? I'd imagine costs for renting booth, additional product, additional staff, etc. could easily need financing. It doesn't seem unreasonable if you consider it more like a small business loan. If they were just financing people's day trips to the state fair, then I have no clue. If it makes you feel better, they weren't targeting you due to your balance. It was a move to reduce their liabilities due to the bailouts. I got the same letter but I was paying the card off in full each month. They were huge jerks about it. My other cards just cut my limits. Which was fine with me because they all had automatically raised them to stupidly high levels.
OP replied. Yes, I know, however, at about the same time my mother's credit line was cancelled by the bank and the debt called in. She didn't have the cash and was forced to sell a condo she owned in Miami for $80K when the year before it was $130K. Just to pay off the $15,000 credit line.
This is probably the only time where paying less made sense. Love it. Especially when they get to try to reactivate your card. LOL.
Right? To pull his account, create and authorize the offer, then send it to him. That is another $50 to $200 they are spending 4 times a year to beg him to stop costing them so much money. I love it.
P.S. Young folks, I lucked out, I would have been up a creek otherwise. If you don't have credit card debt now, strive to not ever get one. I've always heard that having a credit card is the better choice as long as you make the payments and don't end up paying any interests because A. It helps your credit score. B. Provides more protection against fraud/theft since you're technically spending the bank's money and it's their problem rather than yours if you get defrauded.
The advice I was always given was never put anything on a credit card that you don't already have the cash for. I mostly use credit cards for reward points and for my credit rating. I am a fan of the better protections vs debit cards and therefore use my CCS for online purchases.
Same. CC for online purchases, but don't charge anything you don't have the money for or can't pay off immediately. Yeah. You just need to use debt to your advantage. The score system is a sham, but racking up points is easy.
OP replied. A few years after this, I refinanced my rental properties. Because of the timing of the closing of the loans, I waited until the first of the month, not the last day of the month. I was able to skip 2 payments. Since I refinanced before my old bank could pay out taxes out of escrow, I got that money sent to me as well. Long story short, I got 12,000 cash and saved 8,000 in mortgage payments just for refinancing.
Yep. And score goes BRRRR. I don't understand what happened here. So, they closed your account and locked you into the 1.9 rate for longer than the year promo?
OP replied. Exactly. Doesn't make sense, does it? But they did it to themselves.
I love how the balance is only 1,000, so you could easily pay it off. Instead, you get to slowly twist the knife a while longer. I bet no one at the company actually learned from this.
But what I don't understand is how not paying it off and continuing to pay interest to the bank is beneficial to OP. 1.9% of $1,000 is $19, so that's $19 the bank is getting out of you that you could have spent on something else. What am I missing here?
They're investing their money otherwise, so as long as they make a 1.9% return on it per month, they're breaking even. Inflation also plays a factor here, since it usually hovers around 2%, which if you lack money is a bit of a problem, but OP is well off to wealthy, so they're actually making money in this scenario. TLDR, the money they're paying to the bank is worth less than the money they took out, and they can invest the money they aren't paying immediately to make more money.